Talk about a freaking hoopty.
What the hell is this, bro? Where do you live that you need iron bars on it?
San Francisco, and any liberal democratic city that, of course, has a whole bunch of government there that is absolutely freaking pointless in your life. As you're going to see from this news update, as of course, there's so many different things happening right now with Zelensky, with El Salvador, with tariffs, with trades, with geopolitical international developments, as well as our foreign policy, which is in disarray, which we are going to be talking about in this particular video, discussing all the latest, most important news that just happened within 24 hours. And of course, we got a lot to get into, as there's still really low IQ, incompetent people deciding to try to destroy Tesla Cybertrucks by ramming themselves into it, as this very plumped grape Kool-Aid looking like man decided to do what a lot of people are calling the dumbest move on the internet, and that is this one. Let's see it in its full effect here. Yep, that showed him. How dare this random person who maybe even is a liberal buy a Tesla? Yeah, that's the thinking. Actually, it isn't really thinking. It's not thinking. It's just angry, crazy, insane people that are still lashing out here. As the corporate media today has been having a heyday, specifically surrounding Signalgate. As today, we got the entire Signal chat on the Yemen strikes. This after some conflicting statements from Trump's administration. I know some Trump supporters were saying, oh, this is 4D. This was all deliberate, as we are getting some reports that Trump allegedly isn't happy about this entire matter, as publicly he has come out and has supported his national security advisor, Mike Waltz, here, saying he is a good man and he will continue to be a good man, as some lawmakers are calling for him to be fired. Now, whether or not you believe the sources about Donald Trump being angry or not angry, it does seem like the media is trying to make this a big saga that will not be going away anytime soon, as the White House press secretary went scorch earth on the Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg. A lot of people are attacking him throughout all of this, and I'm just saying, hey, I think it's a little bit more controversial to bomb a country than have this little hiccup here, as there's other things that the United States I think should have at their top list of priorities. First of all, should be non-interventionism. But if we're going to play this game of, hey, we need to be the world police, there's a bunch of Christians that are also just getting absolutely obliterated because of our tax dollars that went to, creating a coup d'etat in their country. Yeah, I would say that's a little bit more important, as we had a very interesting interaction between the head of the CIA and a Democratic lawmaker that now went as far as to accuse Pete Hegseth for, quote, allegedly being drunk during the group chat.
To your knowledge, do you know whether Pete Hegseth had been drinking before he leaked classified information?
I don't have any knowledge of Secretary Hegseth's personal habits.
Director Radcliffe, same question. Yes or no?
No, I'm going to answer that. I think that's an offensive line of questioning. The answer is no. I find it interesting that you want to... I'm going to answer. You asked me a question. Do you want an answer?
No, listen.
You don't want to focus on the good work that the CIA is doing, that the intelligence community...
Director, I reclaim my time. Director, I reclaim my time. Here, I have huge respect for the CIA, huge respect for our men and women in uniform. But this was a question that's on the top
of all the liberals out there that are trying to make this into a big saga, into a big scandal, as internationally, I do believe there are other things at stake here that are a little bit more pressing, personally, myself here, specifically when it comes to, the crazy situation unfolding right now in Europe, as Europe, almost every step of the way here, is trying to double-cross and sabotage the peace efforts that Donald Trump is trying to achieve here. And we heard just yesterday there was a truce made when it comes to trade in the Baltic. This is good news. This is great news, specifically with some stipulations. some of the stipulations were specifically saying, hey, yeah, we're going to make sure that we're going to get rid of some of the sanctions here. The United States said that they would be open to this, that they would be willing to do this. And Europe just a couple hours ago said, no, we're not releasing any sanctions until the Russians leave all of Ukraine. And now we have another very kind of bombastic statement from the president of Ukraine saying that Putin will, quote, die soon. And as soon as he does, this whole conflict will allegedly end. And I would disagree with that very severely, since Putin has surrounded himself with some very serious war hawks. Like, if people think Putin's extreme, actually he has shown a lot of discernment. And if you look at the people that are around him, they are the, quote, Lindsey Grahams of Russia. They are the John McCains. They are the warmongers that could be a lot more dangerous than Vladimir Putin. And people don't realize, people think, as soon as we get rid of Putin, Putin is sort of like a Saddam Hussein figure, okay? Some people say that's a fair characteristic. Some people say it's not a fair characteristic. But soon as Saddam Hussein goes down, there's going to be a lot of turmoil. There's going to be a huge vacuum of power. Like, there was already a coup against Putin with Yevgeny Prigozhin of the Wagner mercenary group. That didn't really work out in his favor. That guy had a flight, and then that flight never made it down. Before talking about that, before showing you Zelensky's clip, we wanted to remind you, sign up to lookunfiltered.com. I am working on a new range day. The last range day was really fun. It was really awesome. You can see the videos of that on lookunfiltered.com. 13 plus years of videos centered around helping you become the best, most amazing, strongest version of yourself. I'm going to do another video specifically warning about the bigger kind of economic issues that are coming to a head here. But in previous videos, I talked about the opportunities that are at hand here, specifically for this new kind of Trump era, this new tumultuous financial era that is already coming true. And I did this video a couple of weeks ago. Before Donald Trump even took political office, I said, okay, guys, if you're young, if you're looking for a change in your career, these are the places that I would go to. These are the things that I would start looking into. These are the things that I would start to learn here. Those types of videos only available for members of lookunfiltered.com. Bunch of other great benefits. Too many benefits to mention here. You guys also, if you want to ask me a question and you want me to play the video of you asking me whatever question, if it's related to a particular topic, I will play it here on this broadcast, and you guys get full access to me. I was just talking to some of the members in the Telegram chat, and that's one of many perks that you guys will get here. Now, let's get to the comment here by Zelensky that was just addressing the European media, as the European Union also is telling people, hey, stock up on some food, have some survival preparedness gear, because there's a big possibility that things are going to get haywire. And that coalesces with what I've been saying for a while now from my sources that are coming to me and saying, yeah, kind of start to prepare for the worst, actually. Start to make sure you have everything good to go.
But it also depends on his age. He will die soon, and that's a fact, and it will come to an end. And it could come to an end even before he ends his absolutely safe and historically losing life, historically lost life.
Yeah, just saying, oh, yeah, that guy's going to croak over and then everything's going to be over here. Isn't really a convincing argument. Yeah, Putin's up there. But he also has billions of dollars. Some people believe he's one of the richest people on earth because he's able to hide a lot of his assets through the Russian government. That guy has access to a lot of top-notch medical stuff and facilities. And if you think he's just going to croak, I mean, you compare him to Biden. I mean, if you can make that argument with Biden, I'm like, okay, you're onto something. But Putin still holds huge press conferences where he talks to reporters for 7 hours. And if your plan with dealing with this conflict is, yeah, he's going to die, it's a stupid plan. It's an idiotic plan, because we have to understand here that specifically when he does, someone else, maybe, probably, most likely someone way worse, will be taking his position and then not playing as nice and not having as much discernment and ease of making very tough decisions. Listen, someone probably will be in there that won't be as restraintful as Putin has been here. And this type of messaging really isn't helpful, really isn't useful right now, because it does highlight how the Europeans, every step of the way here, are failing, are interrupting, are interjecting, are stopping peace from being achieved here. And they're trying to reassure people, yeah, don't worry, you'll just die soon. An idiotic, dumb take that should be addressed in a more serious manner, as there's so many significant Ukrainian territory being taken away. There's so many young Ukrainian men that are losing their lives right now. The women having a time of their life sometimes all over the world. But the men here, they're facing such horrible conditions on the front line, conscripted, grabbed away from their homes, sent into a vehicle, sent to the front lines. And then you're going to tell me your best strategy here is, Putin's going to die sometime. In other related crazy warmongering news, Trump, for some reason, just endorsed Lindsey Graham. Yep, as Being Libertarian said, this is a sad reminder that politics is ugly and the swamp stool has a lot of power. Sad. As Donald Trump announced on Truth Social, Senator Lindsey Graham, a never-Trumper, John McCain, neoconservative, lanked warmongerer. Sorry, I ad-libbed that myself personally here. Sorry. Trump said, Senator Lindsey Graham is working incredibly hard for the great people of South Carolina. Now noted, Lindsey Graham did change his tune recently, specifically when it came to some of the more aggressive policies by Donald Trump that he is standing behind that don't usually go along with his previous kind of virtues and ideology, which probably worships and serves Satan. Anyway, Trump says, a state I love and won big in 2016, 2020, and 2024. Lindsey has been a wonderful friend to me. Not really. No, he actually is very opposed to everything you stand for. He goes on, and has always been there when I needed him. Not really. As the chair of the Senate Budget Committee, Lindsey is fighting tirelessly to grow the economy, lower taxes, and eliminate government waste. Lindsey is also relentlessly focused on helping us secure the border, stop migrant crime, strong support our great military vets, promote American energy dominance, defend our always under siege Second Amendment, and ensure peace through strength. Saying you created some of the biggest and supported one of the worst foreign policy decisions ever, saying that you're a Bush-era Republican isn't peace through strength. It is order out of chaos that doesn't even include any kind of order. It's just chaos that foments and creates more chaos. Trump goes on, Senator Lindsey Graham has my complete and total endorsement for re-election. He will not let you down. He has let down a lot of people. Everyone in South Carolina should help Lindsey have a big win next year. Why now? Really? Come on now. Really? This, as his Homeland Security Director, Kristi Noem, just came face-to-face with some of the criminals that were deported to El Salvador, and yet another interesting photo op where she had to say this.
Here at CCOT today and visiting this facility. And first of all, I want to thank El Salvador and their president for their partnership with the United States of America to bring our terrorists here and to incarcerate them and have consequences for the violence that they have perpetuated in our communities. I also want everybody to know, if you come to our country illegally, this is one of the consequences you could face. First of all, do not come to our country illegally. You will be removed and you will be prosecuted. But know that this facility is one of the tools in our toolkit that we will use if you commit crimes against the...
Sending a very strong message to a lot of the criminals that used to get promoted, used to get luxury hotels, used to get personally invited, and even delivered debit cards in places like New York City where they were able to spend money as they pleased. And now the stick of consequences rarely comes lubricated. And I think that's what a lot of people now that have been sent to El Salvador are finding out, as Donald Trump has even toted around the idea of people who attack Teslas to be potentially sent to El Salvador, as Mr. Grape Kool-Aid Man here probably won't be having a good time if that potentially happens. But overall, I absolutely disagree with sending American citizens over to foreign jails. That's something that, of course, would be a major violation of our constitutional Bill of Rights, which individuals like Lindsey Graham love to trample on. Anyway, Trump also, in another protectionist move, just announced that he's imposing sweeping auto tariffs in the latest crackdown on what he believes to be unfair economic policies against the United States, American companies. As now, Donald Trump announced that cars entering the United States that are not made in the United States and produced here will be facing a 25% tariffs. A lot of cars are imported here into the United States, and a lot of the places that we import them, when we try to import our cars there, they charge a hefty tariff. Now the United States is doing the same, as automakers that are going to be working and having factories and producing the cars here in America will have a huge advantage over all the international cars that are shipped into this country, as there's already one major automaker announcing that they are going to be investing in America, producing their cars here. Tesla, of course, produces a significant portion of their cars here in the United States as well, as they are going to be some of the biggest winners when it comes to this latest protectionist economic move made by Donald Trump. As in other economic news, we also found out that 2 days ago, GameStop shares surged after the firm pledged to buy Bitcoin. Yep, you heard that correctly, as the price of Bitcoin went up, and now a lot of people are speculating that there is going to be an increase in price here. As we have this article from Coindesk.com, now is really a good time to buy Bitcoin, says $1 trillion. I haven't seen this article yet. It says $1 trillion investment manager. Always do your due diligence before spending any of your money on any kind of investment. But it's pretty clear that this administration is very bullish on America. It's very bullish on things like crypto and Bitcoin, and has already been loosening a lot of the very restrictive regulations and rules surrounding these alternative currencies that have been artificially held down by the U.S. federal government that had its boot on its neck. It's pretty crazy to see the number of people that have been arrested, incarcerated, debanked, and had their whole entire lives just destroyed because they wanted to peacefully transact with an online digital currency. There's still a lot of individuals that are facing severe jail sentences, individuals like Joby Weeks, like Roger Ver, that should be freed immediately. FreeJoby.com, free Roger, free Roger, I think it's freerogerver.com. We're going to try to have the websites in the description, but I don't remember the websites off the top of my head, to be quite honest with you. But when it comes to this kind of new innovative technology, it is something that we have to release our political prisoners from first before making it a concept. As there's even consideration of the U.S. House of Congress passing a nationwide concealed carry permit reciprocity. English is my second language. I can't say that word. Reciprocity. Horrible. Reciprocity. Those ESL classes in public school weren't that good. When I first came to this country, I never even had them, by the way. But this is good news. What's not good news is the Supreme Court just ruled against self-defense ownership and rights in a move that I believe is unconstitutional, but the Supreme Court ruled it is, quote, constitutional, as they just upheld a Biden-era defensive ghost regulation. So, yeah, there's that. The Supreme Court has been acting kind of weird as of late. I know they have a conservative Republican kind of majority, but they've been a little off there. What will they be ruling soon when it comes to a lot of these activist judges that are going after Trump's policies directly? That's going to be a very interesting decision that, of course, we're going to be paying close attention to. I still have 4 more videos to do today. Subscribe, click the notification button, sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com to be a quasi-secret, not-so-secret member of our society. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.